Elon Musk's 2-hour talk with President Trump on Twitter. Musk says it got more than 1 billion views, but the Kamala Harris campaign bashing it after she refused the same sit-down interview with Musk. Still, no Kamala Harris interviews, no policies, 3 weeks after she's been the nominee. Let's welcome back to the show Trump 2024 campaign surrogate. He's Congressman Byron Donalds. Congressman, it's good to see you again. The big question is, when you saw this, do you think this reset the campaign? Because there's been Republican worry about Trump's polling, even though, you know, by the way, he was behind in 2016 then, and he still won despite the media and the D.C. establishment being against him. What did you think of the interview?
First of all, I thought the interview was great. It was obviously much more of a conversation, but the American people got an opportunity to hear Donald Trump talk about all the various policy issues facing America. They heard Elon Musk largely agree with Donald Trump on those solutions for the country. That's the kind of back and forth America needs to hear to understand that Donald Trump has the vision, the policies, and the prescription to fix what's happening in our country. I think when you listen to the media this morning talking about how, oh, they were 40 minutes late, oh, Donald Trump was just talking, going through so many things, he was talking in very long sentences, that's because they're accustomed to this sugar high form of political media, where everything is a 30-second clip, a sound bite, where you're either trying to own somebody. Those are things might be cool for clickbait, but they're not going to solve the issues of the country. Donald Trump did a wonderful job last night. The big question is, could Kamala Harris sit for 2 hours and talk policy? I don't think so. Yeah,
it's interesting. You know, we had Washington Post reporters saying the White House should have stepped in and stopped it. The EU tried to stop it. You know, President Trump answered questions. He talked policy. He likely reached hundreds of millions of undecided voters. We don't know how many there are, but he talked to people around the world. Neither Kamala Harris nor Tim Walz, they're not talking policy. They have not done an interview or press conference. Neither of them, by the way, worked in the private sector creating jobs. They work for government. Taxpayers paid for their mortgage, their pensions, free housing, and health care. Let's listen to the highlights. Watch this.
We've got to get the prices down. You know, when I look at bacon costing 4 or 5 times more than it did a few years ago, when you look at some of the food products in grocery stores, people go, they can't believe it. They used to be able to buy a whole cart, and today, you know, a lot of people just don't have the money. They go in and they can't buy anything.
But the things I think are important for the future is, like, we've got to have safe cities, we've got to have secure borders, we've got to have sensible spending, and we've got to have deregulation, and right. So we can have a prosperous future. That's why I'm supporting you for president. I stood in line for 6 hours to shake Obama's hand when he was running for president, and you know, so it's not like I'm like some sort of dyed-in-the-wool long-term Republican. I'd call myself, historically a moderate Democrat, but now I feel like we're really at a critical juncture for the country, I think a lot of people thought, you know, the Biden administration would be a moderate administration, but it's not. And obviously, we're just going to see an even further left administration with Kamala. That's my honest opinion.
An even further left White House with Kamala Harris. Can you explain that one?
Well, first of all, I would tell the Trump campaign, there's your 30-second ad right there. Elon Musk is explaining why somebody who voted for Barack Obama is now voting for Donald Trump this fall. But when they talk about Kamala Harris, she supported the massive Medicare for All package that Bernie Sanders supported. When she debated for the presidency, she agreed with Bernie Sanders that she wanted Medicare for All. It would cost $44 trillion. She supported the massive Green New Deal. It would cost $100 trillion. She wants to raise taxes on business owners, whether they're large corporate guys like Elon Musk or small business owners trying to find ways to make ends meet. That's only going to hurt our economy overall. And then you have the other issues of she won't secure the border. She agrees with what Joe Biden has done because she is the border czar and she was there every step of the way. Her policies are a disaster. which is why she's avoiding the press, which is why she's avoiding scrutiny. And the only time policy even comes out of the Harris campaign is when some low-level staffer puts out a memo. That's ridiculous. That is hiding from the American people. That is not the bold leadership that America needs at this critical time.
Why are we waiting for her to put out her policy agenda when she's been in D.C. for 7 years and in the White House for 4? Is this going to be another retread of Biden, his agenda?
Listen, you asked $1 million question. The reason why we shouldn't even be worried about what she's going to put out in the campaign is because we know what she has supported when she had a vote in the United States Senate. Kamala Harris was the tie-breaking vote on the American Rescue Plan and the Inflation Reduction Act, which has crippled families all across America. Her voting record says all we need to know.
Yeah, high inflation. We're tackling that next. Congressman Donalds, good to see you.